Hi everybody. Happy Thursday. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late. I was just scoring some of these papers and I realized that I forgot to cut two out. So now I have them. Hopefully tonight my comments will work, so I'll be able to see everybody's comments. But we'll be making this two-tiered box. It's just a cute little box that closes up. I do not have any, but 4 of those Ferrero Rochers fit in here. I think that's how you say it. I'm not really too sure. But before we start, look at that. Got a little pearl on top of my paper. I just wanted to remind everybody that right now Stampin' Up! Has a special going on. I think it's called the Get and Go kit. It's a starter kit for $125 worth of products for $99. But until the end of September, they're also giving you the Queen Anne's lace stamp set, the So Much Love stamp set. And if you remember, I showcased that not too long ago. A set of rhinestones and all the paper for, I believe it's a total of 16 cards. So all the paper to create cards and videos in the website to help you create the cards. So that's a really nice deal. So if somebody could just do me a favor and say hi in the comments so I can add. Thank you, Kathleen. So they're working tonight. Thank you so much. Really happy that, hey, Do, how are you, babe? So like I said, this is the box we're going to be creating today. I used the stamp set that I've been showcasing all week, the Gorgous Posies. Now this set, and I do not have it, but you can get a coordinating card kit with it that is really beautiful, but I did not get it. For myself, when it comes to card kits, sometimes I go blank. I don't really like following the directions, and then I can't come up with anything when I have a pre-made set. So all I did was purchase the stamp set. That's okay, Do. I was late too. So I'm going to show you the scoring when it comes to scoring the box, but I will, if I miss a measurement, don't worry. I have a PDF that I will be posting in the group in the morning. This way you'll have your measurements and then you'll have the video as a reference. So let's get started. We have the lid of the box, and this is 7 1/4 by 7 1/4, and it's scored at 1, 2, 5 1/4, and 6 1/4, and then you're going to turn it, excuse me, and again you're going to score it at 1, 2, 5 1/4, and 6 1/4. So we're just going to burnish and fold on our score lines so we have nice crisp lines. And then we're going to create our box, our lid actually. So what you're going to do first is, I like to cut the little bump out. So I go to the right of it because we want to keep this. And what we're going to do is we are just going to cut out these outside 3 squares, just like that. Let me just snip that. And I think I'll put my cuts for my tabs on this side, and we're just going to tab these out, just like that. And then I'm also going to just very slightly tab this. Same thing on this side, just a little slight, and we're just going to follow what we did on the first corner. And I should have created some of the drawers, but I didn't. I just figured it'd be nice for you to be able to see. So I did the same thing on each corner, and then we're gonna just take that tab out, and then we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Cut out these outside 3 squares, just like this. Give it a little tab, and we have our tabs this way, so we're just going to keep the tab going in the same direction. Cut a little bit off, and cut a little bit off here. Go to our 4th corner, and we're going to do the same thing. Just going to tab it a little, cut it up, cut these 3 outside squares off, just like this. And again, just give this a little tab. I just like to tab it all just a little, because these are going to be the edges that get folded in, and that one's tabbed. Just to give yourself a little extra room so the box goes together nicely. So what we're going to do is, this is the top of the lid. We're going to, let me just grab, I don't have a fancy ruler, so I use the cap to my glue. So we're just going to add our tearing tape to those little tabs you created. And I'm just going to put 2 strips. I like to put one down by the score line. Just to make sure that this holds. Oops. Got butterfingers today. I've been trying to get my house clean. Hey, Laura. Oh, this one here, honey, is 7 1/4 by 7 1/4. And if you're just coming in, Marnie, I will have all the measurements in a PDF. Let me just scroll this so I can make sure of my messages. I will, thank you, Laura. Yes, it's going to be on a PDF in the group tomorrow. You'll have this video as a reference if there's something that you forgot. Okay, so these are our tabs. Now these outside pieces, as you can see that I forgot to do this one, these are going to be folded in so you have a nice edge on the box. So we're going to turn it over, and we are going to put a line of tearing tape at the end here. You could put more, but one should, I used one on the original box, and it seems like it's pretty sturdy. And you don't have to use tearing tape. You can use glue But tonight it's a little warm in here. I didn't put the fan on, and I'm just afraid the glue's not going to hold and dry. Okay, so there's your box. So now we're going to put it together. And everybody knows how to put our boxes together, but I like to make sure that the end of the cardstock is nice and even with the corner of the box. And some people take their tearing tape off completely. I don't. I've had disasters happen, so I like to play it safe. There have been times that I have tried to put a box together many, many times and made the same mistake each and every time. So I have just taught myself to do it one corner at a time. No sense in rushing and wasting cardstock. Okay, so there's that. And then we're just going to take these ends, and I like to just tuck them in, take my bone folder, and just go over that edge just so it's nice and crisp. And we're going to do this for every side. Hope everybody's having a good day. I've been trying to get my fall cleaning and windows done the last few days. It's been crazy. Took the air conditioners out of the windows, and believe it or not, it was muggy. Thanks, Marnie. Ah, you're getting... That's what I still have to do, mow my lawn. But that's what I've been trying to do, and it's been crazy. Okay, so now for the top of the box, I think this is the right one. I want to make sure. This is 3 1/8 by 3 1/8, and it's just the Just Jade again. And just so you know, I don't know if anybody looked at today's blog. Let's see, what did I do with the other? Here it is. But I mistakenly said that I had used the Just Jade in color DSP, and that is not true. It is the Flowers for Every Season DSP, and it's the opposite side of the floral that I use on the sides. So I did make a mistake on today's blog, so please forgive me. I realized it while I was cutting for tonight's class. So I'm going to use the Just Jade side, and this one is 3 by 3. So the first layer is 3 1/8 by 3 1/8, and then this layer is 3 by 3. And if you know me, I love my layers. It just, to me, it just gives it such a nice finished look. You don't need to do the extra layers, but I think the box with, say, just one layer of cardstock and then your floral on top, that little extra edge, if you can see it right here, just makes a big difference than just like that. So let's just put this layer on, and I should refill my seal, my stamp and seal. So we're just going to lay this on and center it on the top. And then I cut out, this is from Forever Flourishing dies from the Forever Fern, and I cut one out in Just Jade. I cut one out in Bumblebee, and then I use for these little sprigs, instead of the Calypso Coral, excuse me, I use Magenta Madness so it matches the flower. Excuse me, it's hot in here. Okay, so all I did was cut off that big piece at the top, and then I cut it off again, and I just like to make sure I round it just a little so you don't, just in case you happen to see it. You don't necessarily have to, but that'll be the one thing that sticks out like a sore thumb, I think. Just trim it off a little bit. And then we're just going to do the same thing with this side. This way you don't have to cut out so many. You just cut out the two. And it works like a charm. And we're just going to, I actually just laid this one on a layer, and then I laid a gold Bumblebee one, and then I'm going to switch out and put a Bumblebee one on this side, and then we're going to put the Just Jade on this side, and you can arrange this any old way you want. Same thing with these, just go, you know, layering them down. You can use the extras that I have. I have 2 extras, but this is good. Whoops. Glue on my fingers already. So we'll just put that aside for the next project. And then I have the flower that I did already stamp and fussy cut, so you don't have to watch me fussy cut. But what I actually did for the flower, and you really honestly cannot see it. Bye, Marnie. Bye, Laura. Sorry, I think it was Laura. Have a great night, Laura. I just, again, took the Magenta Madness and just turn this, and I put some dots in the middle. When it dries, it will not be that dark, but that's okay, because what I'm going to do is grab my pearls, and these are a line of pearls that you can use, and I'm just going to cut them apart, and they do, whoops, they do cut apart, and I'm just going to, can you see that? Let me move that out of the way. Just going to cut off a few of these little pearls, because I never know what to use these line of pearls for. So I like to use them as individuals. Add a few to the flower, and then I'm actually going to pop this up twice. So I'm just going to lay down my, whoops, dimensionals. It's still not dry. See? The heat in here, my glue just does not dry. And then stick my flower down. And then for the I did do the leaves too that match this flower. Let me just see where my other one is. I did cut out 2. If it's here. Oh, wouldn't you know it? It happens every single time. Maybe it's over here. Okay, so it must have flew the coop. We'll probably find it as I keep going, but we're going to use this one for now. And all I did with this one is use one-dimensional. And we'll tuck it under right here. So it's just a little bit lower than the actual flower and a little higher than the greenery in the back. So that is your lid. Now we're going to make the drawers. And for the drawer, I could have used Whisper White, but I grabbed the Very Vanilla, and this is a 9x9 piece, and you're going to want 2. So what I'll do is I'll just make one drawer, because we're already at 7:30. I don't want, hi Linda, how are you? I don't want to have to keep everybody so long, but it's 9x9, and it's scored at 1.5, 3, 6, and 7.5. And then again, you're going to turn it and score it again at 1.5, 3, 6, and 7.5. And like I said, you're going to do it to 2. I will only be doing 1. And we're going to create the drawer just like we did the lid. Exactly. So like I said, I should have created one of the drawers, but I didn't. Like I said, trying to get my house together and clean for the fall, doing my windows and curtains. It is so much work. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, and I think I'll have my tab cut on this side. So we're just going to cut up just like that, and we're going to cut out these 3 squares just like that. Tab this a little bit. Tab these pieces. And like I said, I'm sure many of you have done these boxes before, or these kind of boxes. So we're going to tab this a little bit, cut this tab down. So what I'm doing is just taking out these outside corners. As soon as I get this cut, I'll show you exactly what I mean. Just trim this one. And then we're going to tab it, and then I like to tab this a little bit too. Okay, so as you can see, I just took out the 3 corners on the 3 squares. I'm sorry, 3 squares on the corner. Gave myself the tabs in the same direction, and then we're just going to do the same thing on this side. Angle cut. I like to cut the bump out on this one because this is going to be, one of the corners of the box. So we're just going to do it all again right here. Cut this off. Just give this a little tab. That's tabbed. That's tabbed. Cut off that bump. Just like that. Tab this a little bit. little tab on each of these sides. Okay, let me get rid of these pieces. And leaving it staying a little bit clean. Okay, so again, we're going to tear and tape. And like I said, you can use the Seal Plus. I don't have any. I haven't purchased it because I have so much tear and tape that I'm trying to use up first. But you can use the Stampin' Seal Plus or glue. Glue works too. That would be fine. Okay, so we have those there. All right, Marty, I'll see you later. Have a great night. And we'll catch you in the AM. Or your PM, actually. Okay, so as you saw, I turned it over. And we're just going to add our tear and tape to this side with my wonderful magic cutter. It works so well. And then we're just going to create this drawer also in the same way. Like I said, we're going to do it the same way that we created the lid. So just get those corners nice and straight. And I wanted to, like I said, I'll just make the one drawer, show you how to put it together. Because when it comes to the sides, I just want to show you a little bit of putting that together. Because when I first tried and was first creating it, it was a little confusing. And I just think it's important that we just go over that a little bit in detail. The drawers for this are easy. It's just like making the lid. And you're going to make two. I'm sure we could come up with some dimensions if you wanted to stack it higher. But I think it's a pretty little gift box. If you have someone that you're going to be giving jewelry to, one level could be the necklace, the second level could be the earrings or bracelet. I mean, I think it'd be a very cute little box for your gifts. Okay, so here's the drawer. We're going to do it again a second time. Because like you can see in here, you have your two drawers. So now what we're going to create is the outside panel. And that is the one I wanted to spend a little extra time on. That's why I'm skipping the drawer. I'm just going to move this out of the way because I'm going to grab my scoreboard. And we have two pieces. Let me just get this out of the way. Two pieces of the Just Jade this time. And I just want to make sure what side is my 6.5. Okay, so they're both 6.5 inches wide, but one is 6 1/4 and the other one is 7 1/4. So we're going to go to the 6.5 by 6 3/4. Yes, this is the 6.5 by 6 3/4. That's the one we're going to do first. And we're going to score it at 1/2 and then 3 5/8. Okay? And then we're going to turn it and score it at 1 5/8, and I hope I do this right, and 4 7/8. Okay, so we have a little 1/2 inch area right here. So now we're going to grab the 6 1/2 by 7 1/4. You want to make sure you're 6 1/2 and 6 1/2. So again, we're going to score it at 1/2, 3 5/8, 6 3/4. So this piece will have 2 sides that have 1/2 inch, and then you're going to rotate it, and again 1 5/8 and 4 7/8. So those are your sides. So it sits just like this. So let's get this folded. I didn't take pictures, like pictures as I was creating, and I should have, but now that you have the video, you can go back and look. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut out this first little rectangle and tab it, and we're going to do the same on this side. Just like that. Okay, so that's your first panel. Then we're going to take the second panel, fold and burnish it so you have nice clean lines. This one has the fold in the middle and the fold at the end, because these are our tabs. And we're going to do the same thing to this piece. We're going to cut out these end rectangles. Give it a little tab and cut this rectangle out. The huge thing. Oh, that was my scoreboard, do. Okay, so we're cutting out these rectangles on the end, just like that. Okay, so now we have our two pieces, and what you're going to do, we have to attach these two pieces. So you want to make sure they're going to be lined up, your 6 1/2 inch side. You don't want it overlapping, but you do want it to line up really nicely. So we're just going to add some glue. We could have used tearing tape, but I want to make sure that if I do not get this straight, I have a minute or a couple seconds to redo it. But that actually looks pretty good. We don't have to worry about the glue. And I guess, what size is this? Yeah, see, this is, you couldn't use a 12 by 12 sheet. That's why we had to make them in two different panels, because this right here measures 13 1/2, a little bit over 13 1/2. So that's why we're making the two. Hey, man, that's okay. I was late too, actually. Okay, so now that you have your panel and it's glued, we're just going to cut up to the score line for each little rectangle section. And this makes it easier to fold. You're probably thinking, why are you cutting that? But it makes it easier when you create the base. Excuse me. Let me just get a drink. All of a sudden, it's like so hot. Sorry about that. So we're just cutting up on these score lines on the ends, just like that. These tabs on the end, I know it seems so crazy, but it gives it a nice finished look. We're just going to, and we'll use the tear and tape this time. This way I know it will adhere. So these little tabs are actually going to be folded in. And like I said, the reason being, when you put your drawers in, and I'll show you on this box, your edge, look at the nice clean edge instead of, if you're looking at a piece of cardstock, it looks like a raw edge, but this is actually a nice clean edge on the outside edges of the box. So it just finishes it off really nice. So we're just going to pull this paper, make sure it's sticking down, and it is. And we're just going to fold this over. Oops. Do the same thing on this side. Just like that. And then all these tabs are going to get folded in. Now, like I said, you're probably thinking, now why did you cut these? So it's easier to fold. You won't have that bulk when you fold it. So your outside corner, again, will be a nice rounded corner and it won't be bulky. So let's use, I guess we can use some tear and tape. And I'm going to put it towards the edge here. I think it'll be a little easier. And again, you can use glue. You can also put a double row if you'd like. But for a time crunch, since we've been working on this and we're still not finished, I'll put one, and then what I'll do is I'll put a line of glue down towards the folded area. Then this way it'll really be secured. And if I decide I'd like to, hey Teresa, how are you? This way it'll be nice and secured. So I'm just going to run the glue just a little bit, and then we're just going to fold this up just like that. And we're going to do this to every section. Let's just add a little bit more. I guess it is pretty warm in here. That dried pretty quick, huh? No air. Okay, one more. And then we'll turn it around and do it again. So, like I said, it just will make it so much easier, and we will freshen those lines again. but it gives the inside of the box a nice look so you don't have raw edges. Take all the tape off. Let's do it this way. Take the tape off, run a bit of glue. Okay. Just see this edge. This edge, it doesn't look like I cut out the bump. So we're just going to give that a little trim. And then let's just refold this. Give it a nice crisp edge. Just like that. And then we're going to grab our DSP, and again, my next layer. Now you'll notice that when you cut these and go to put them on, they're actually 3 by 3 1/8. So it's 3 1/8, that's a lie, 3 1/4 high, and each square is 3 inches wide. So these are actually 3 by 2 7/8, 3 by 3 1/8, I should say. And we're just going to put these layers down. And again, all the measurements, I have, the PDF is already created. I just have to make a few corrections, because like I said, I copied again that I used the Just Jade in color, and I didn't. It was the Just Jade on the opposite side of this Flower for Every Season DSP. So I just have to correct that. And it probably won't get done tonight because I have to finish cleaning up from dinner. Hubby has been sick and in bed for, I guess, the last 4 days. So I have to finish up what I was doing and cleaning up in there tonight. Okay, so this is our DSP layer. And again, I'm just centering it. So I have about 1/8 of an inch around the edge from the layer before. And this is the outside of the box. And I just remembered something for the lid. So we'll take care of that in a second. Now, I'll show you a little trick. I didn't hit that little corner. So this is the outside of your box. And if you can see, this little corner right here is sticking up, and that's going to be the top. So you know what's going to happen. That is going to hang up when the box gets opened and closed. So all I'm going to do is take a little glue, stick it on a piece of scrap paper, stick that under there, and pull it out. And then our little corner is all finished. So that is the sides. I'm just going to jump back to the lid real quick because I do have pieces that I did for the cut for the lid that I just completely forgot all about. And They're in little tiny, they're little pieces, but they fit onto the sides of these boxes. 7/8 by 3 1/8, and that is our first layer. Just gives the little, and it's all 4 sides. It just gives the box a nice finished look, and it's a little bit decorative. I really do like the Just Jade. I think Stampin' Up! Outdid themselves with the in colors. They're just so pretty. I love the Just Jade. I really love the Magenta Madness. And I think right now, because my tastes for colors change all the time, but right now the Misty Moonlight is my favorite. So you're going to do that for each side. I do have my pieces here for each of the sides, but I'll show you on the one. So we put the one layer, and then the DSP, and then Crazy Box won't stay. All I did, and I don't know if you could see it in the pictures, but I used the in color enamel dots and just put, and this I did on every side, just put one on either end. This way it just, again, just gives it, and you probably can't really tell because it's Just Jade, but it just gives that box a nice little look. Yeah, most definitely, man, they really do. So that is what you're going to do to every side of the box. And then I'm going to pull the drawer, and we're going to do the same thing to the drawer. Skipped right over it. But for the drawer, only 4 sides are going to be showing. So I wanted to match the drawer with the outside. So the drawers are 1 1/2 by 3. So this is 2 7/8 by 1 3/8. And then the DSP, sorry, my throat is so dry, is 1/8 of an inch smaller, and it's 2 3/4 by 1 1/4. And again, I like to keep that 1/8 of an inch. So you're going to do 2 sides on each box. Now you want to make sure that when you do the 2 sides, that when you insert your drawers onto the sides, that you have the DSP and the colored side facing the right direction. And I'll just show you that in a second. And again, it just finishes off. See, you only see the 2 outside. So you just want to make sure that when you glue these boxes in, that you glue them in the right way if you put on your DSP beforehand. I think when I made this original box, I put the drawers, glued the drawers in first, and then I added the DSP. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to take, just going to fix that a little bit. This is your outer box. You're just going to create a right angle, because this is where your first box is going to go. Like I said, your DSP is on the outside. And you're going to glue this box in place. Just like that. Only on these two sides. And then when you get to this side, you're going to take your drawer and make sure it clears the bottom drawer. And you're going to glue it right up here on the top. And again, making sure your DSP is on the outside. And then you'll have your two drawers. So again, since I didn't fold that drawer, you're going to glue this one here. And then we're going to pretend that this is your second drawer. You're going to make sure it clears and then glue it in so it clears that bottom just like this. So here you have this one glued to the bottom, this one glued to the top, and you have enough leeway that it's going to clear when you close the box. Oops. So this would be glued in just like this. And I'll do that on this one here. So we're just going to do the two very vanilla. Line it up. Make sure it's tight against that corner. And it's a nice right angle. Just hold it for a minute. And again, you could use your tearing tape, but the glue, I always feel when you're doing something like this, it just gives you a little bit of leeway. So there is your bottom drawer. And you're going to do the same thing. I should do it this way. You're going to do the same thing on this side. Yeah, I know, Em. I was getting a sore throat before I came in here tonight. So that is how you create this box. I'm sorry I didn't create the second drawer. I should have. I will definitely do that and have the box finished tomorrow. So I'll have a pair of boxes. But the lid fits nice and snug. It's a nice, I mean, it took us an hour, but it won't take you that long when you create it yourself. So I will make the announcement tomorrow when I have the PDF ready and I'm ready to post it. If you spend $20 in my store, Gal Friday Stamping, I will send you the paper to make these, create these make and takes yourself. Everything you need to make them. Except I will not stamp the flower because I cannot, but I will do the cutouts. And thanks, Teresa. Thanks, Stu. Keep an eye out. I have a great technique I'm going to be doing on my YouTube channel in the next day or so. I'm hoping before the weekend, probably not tomorrow. And I'm also starting to work on redoing the way I do videos. I just have a really bad feeling that Facebook is on its way out. Thanks, Kathleen. After watching so many things about all the different social platforms, I'm worried about not having Facebook and YouTube. So I am working Oh, okay. I will do that. It just started right before I came in here. But like I said, I'm worried about the social media networks. So I'm in the process of getting a stream onto the World Wide Web. So I'll always be available and you won't have to worry about having the social media. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be like a TV station. Um, I'm working on it. So everybody have a great night, Nan. I will do that right after I'm done here. Sounds like a great idea. Don't need to have uh, a sore throat. So thank you everybody for sticking around with me. I will have the box finished and posted tomorrow with its. Oh, sorry, Peggy. You'll have to catch the replay, and I'll have the PDF in the room in the morning. It's great seeing you, though. So everybody have a great weekend. Um, I'll talk to you soon. And like I said, watch for the video coming up. Love you too, Nan. Coming up in my YouTube channel, or on my YouTube channel, I should say. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.